Hello from Anaheim. Welcome to WonderCon. This is kind of like the dress rehearsal for Comic-Con in San Diego, and an even bigger dress rehearsal for our Detroit Comic-Con. But I'm here because of this. This is CapedWonder.com, who put together the ultimate in reunions, the Superman the movie Richard Donner reunion, put together by a guy named Jim Bowers. As you can see, this whole row is filled with stars of the movie Superman, and it all started this morning.
Canvas prints. I also have metal prints.
She's still with us. She's like 94. And Jack.
Jim Bowers. We're in different. I ever heard of us before? I have not. Sorry. There's Tom right there, and there's Dick right there. Hollywood premiere.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Seen that one?
No. I've got one, though, of yours on my wall that Tom had in his house of him and me walking in.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I've got it. Yeah, when he died, I got it. I made it. I had to trying to get through that brother. Please, there's a picture in the downstairs bathroom that me and Tom even remember.
Did he put it in his bathroom?
Yeah, he had it in the downstairs bathroom on the wall.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I do too. So now it's in my kitchen on the wall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
What happens is,
Very nice. Metal prints are nice to display. You don't have to frame them or anything.
And you just
Does your friend here want to take it for you?
Just like that?
Very good. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Come on over, sir. Right here.
How's it going? Orlando, right?
Yes, Orlando indeed. How you doing?
All right, let's talk about your artwork here. I love it. It's fantastic. You were commissioned by CapedWonder to do this?
Yes, this specific tribute piece right here, which is, I believe, Man Can Fly, which was
looks beautiful.
energy behind the whole Donner series.
Yeah,
it was quite an honor to really be able to to be chosen to put it together. Yeah, it's all vector art.
Now, was this signatured by Richard Donner? Because I see a signature right there.
No,
That's yours.
That's probably just a bunch of scriggle lines
Okay.
playing things up. No, this is an honor piece dedicated to both individuals that really convinced the audience that man could fly when there was no CGI around, and they had to totally think about the ways to put it together.
Right.
So it's quite an honor. Big fan of Donner, big fan of Reeves, and I just really wanted to bring my own creative essence to the format of this tribute.
That's great. Fantastic.
Here, I'll take it. Sure.
In France. He just married a girl from France.
Hi, Sherry.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. And you are Lana Lang from Superman the movie.
I was.
Wow. So tell me, what is it like almost 40 years later, seeing all these people here, still interested in this fantastic film?
Well, it was an iconic role in an amazing film that stood the test of time. So it's an honor to be here, and it's fun to see everyone. And yeah, I can't beat being Superman's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's great. What was your favorite moment about filming Superman the movie?
Gee, that's a good question. I think the funnest thing about the movie, when I look back, I've directed a short film that was in a festival that Dick Donner was honored, and so I got to see it on a big screen again. And so the funnest thing about the whole thing was seeing all the special effects, because that was done before computers. So watching them do those live, and then seeing it on a big screen many years later was really amazing.
I thought you were blown away probably just by the flying alone probably surprised you. Were you wondering, like, I wonder if the flying's going to look real or if it's going to look like George Reed? Or,
yeah.
Really? That's funny.
It was good. It's all worked out. You know, I was up there, I was in Canada for a month waiting to shoot because Donner was so specific. He wanted the light to be in just the right place for that scene. So I had a good time.
That's great. That's great. So what do you think of now of the new Lana Lang versions? Have you seen any of the new ones, like in Smallville or in the movies, or no?
No, but I think Smallville was pretty much based on that scene.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Smallville Lana Lang, Kristen Kirk, very much like your Lana Lang. Very much attuned to it. Yeah. It's probably why she was so popular at the beginning of the show, but then it just went wayward, and trust me, you don't want to know.
Oh, really? Okay.
they took Lana Lang in the wrong direction.
Oh, really? Well, what can I say?
Okay, all right, Sherry. All right, I look forward to the Q&A.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Jack.
Oh, there he is.
my costume article online, it has close-ups of the lawful weave.
Oh,
you know right off if the costume's the real deal by that. Now, you know some of the controversy over some of the fake costumes. None of the fake costumes could duplicate the people who made them. This is a real one.
But the size, could it be one of the little doubles? It's too small.
No,
or did it shrink?
It's not too small.
It did shrink.
No.
It wouldn't fit.
It could have been a stuntman's. It's very hard to tell.
Right. But the fabric looks, the weave is...
The weave is right on.
Right.
Oh yeah. The weave is right on. And the weave is duplicated in the red and duplicated in here. And it's not...
The only thing missing
I own
is
an
red.
original. And this is very, very close.
The Berman,
Berman and Nathan's.
It's not there. The tag.
No,
It could have fallen off.
They got cut off sometimes.
Right.
But it's hard to know if Chris wore this or if a stuntman did, but you can also see it's faded.
Yeah.
It's faded on the top because it was either displayed where sun got on it, or it was worn outside enough where it started fading over time. And that's very common too. Mine has some fading at the top edge as well. And then these are right on the money. These are your, the cape snapped into these.
Right.
Not all of Chris's costumes had these.
Oh, really?
No, they either fell off or they just weren't made, depending on what the stunt was going to be or what they had to do. As time went on, they got more rushed. So as they got more rushed, this got sloppier. Some of the S's you see in the movie, they're not as proportional, the S shape.
Yeah.
Because they were churning them out a little bit faster to get the movie done.
Right.
The early costumes have the most pristine, proportional, beautiful S shapes.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to tell if this is 1 or 2. I don't think this is a 3. Could be a 3. This is not a 4 in my opinion. You've got a real deal.
Oh, cool.
If Chris wore it, I couldn't say.
Right.
Could have been a stuntman's. It's hard to know. They use small people.
Yeah.
They use, for distance shots sometimes. They, and the actors that they made them for could have just been a different size for Chris. But Chris may have been able to get into this. Have you ever put this on? So you're what, 6'3"? 6'2". You're 6'2"? You ought to try to get it on and see how it feels. If it's small for you, Chris may not have worn it.
Okay.
Typically from this thickness right here.
Oh,
it would go from very thick to very thin.
Right in there.
Sometimes this was very thin compared to that, and they weren't the same. Sometimes this piece was very thin. In this case, you got a very thin cross piece because this diamond's so big. If you were to lay 4 down on the table, they'd all look a little different. The first way you typically see it is that this is thinner or thicker. Superman 4's costumes were typically thinner here. The early Superman the movie costumes, early, this was super thick. The one that's half, that I know of Superman 4 where it's half that thickness.
Oh yeah?
In one scene.
In 4.
I don't know why. So I would say this was probably from 1 or 2, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
You just don't know. This is kind of squared, so it could be 3.
So it's got to be an original used for some purpose.
Well, yeah, because of the bridal weight spandex weave. And I got close-ups of this, macro photography close-ups that show that weave. It's a very specific weave.
Wow, that's interesting.
And that's where the fakes could never get away with it.
Yeah.
The fakes right off, if you look at it, nope. And a lot of the fakes look very green. They weren't that green. And they all had this bluer zipper here that I've seen.
Yeah.
This was very blue compared to the costume itself.
I think I saw that on your site.
Yeah. Another thing that the fakes failed to do is they made the trunks too big. The fakes have huge trunks sometimes. They weren't that big.
on the planet. We find them. I just want to just read one of those Bibles is my and my grandson's 14 years old.
Margot Kidder?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Hi there. What can I do for you?
Hi, are you going to get Margot's autograph?
Absolutely. Hopefully a picture.
All right, awesome. Can you get Margot's autograph?
Yeah.
All right, what do you like best about her Lois Lane?
I think that she's swell. No, she's really independent and she's really headstrong and she's a great example for girls, I think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like a shirt too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How's it going, guys? Hey, it's going good.
Yeah, I went to dinner with Jeff and he got married.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Enjoying the show?
I sure am. This is great. I'm loving all this Superman fare. So tell me, it's almost been 40 years. How does it feel to see all these people coming out here for your movie?
You know, it's amazing that the film stood up the test of time. And it's just, we did a great movie. It's probably, we're having a hard time ever replicating it. We'll never get another Christopher.
Yeah.
There'll never be another Superman like him. And, I just think we did an iconic situation. And it's amazing that young children today get as much of a kick out of it as the people that their parents and grandparents did.
Right.
Kind of a neat deal.
That's fantastic. So Donner might be here tomorrow. Are you excited about that?
I'd love to see him. Dick's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great director and just a nice man.
That's fantastic. So I was talking to you earlier, and you mentioned that if he had done part 2, there would have been 10 Superman movies?
I think he would have done 3, 4, and 5. I think that it would have been a much better, much stronger franchise.
Right.
Had they let him do what he wanted to do. Because he had great insight And he still does the cartoon character. He still does the comic book.
In the comic book, right? In the comic book.
I mean, he was so much into Superman.
Right.
They should have left him alone. But that's the Salkinds for you.
Right, right. Things didn't quite work out. But we'll get to see him tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. I really look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, darling.
All right.
Take care. Enjoy the show.
Bye-bye.
Hi there.
I know who you are. Just a friend from another star.
This is the pattern of all good. If you watch the first Spider-Man, it had the heart when Jonathan died.
Look at me. Quivering. Checking the girl. Shivering. You can see right through me. Can you picture the things I'm thinking of? Wondering why you are one of the wonderful things about along the sky. You and I could want each other. If you need a friend.
On those escalators.
Perfect. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. The what?
Like a young
Oh, the baby Clark? Yeah. You got it.
Jim Bowers, CapedWonder.com. There is no bigger fan of Superman the movie than you.
Are you sure about that, Jay?
Well, I might be number 2 behind Jim.
You are, absolutely. When you go in his office, you'll know why.
You'll know why. Let's talk about what it's like to get some of these cast members together. We know they do different events throughout the year, but getting them all in one place at one time for something like this is pretty unbelievable.
Well, it is, and I'm all new to this. So I called him up last year and said, hey, let's do this. We've never had a big gathering since the DVD party, so here we are.
Tell me about CapedWonder.com. I mean, this is a website for me. It's very therapeutic. I enjoy it because you have acquired some of the most amazing photos from the making of the Superman movies.
Well, I've been very, very fortunate in being in the right place at the right time and just doing a lot of networking and with other people. And one thing led to another, and I've managed to just collect. I have probably thousands and thousands of photos.
Does it amaze you that this fan base is so huge from a movie that came out in 1978? I mean, I was 4 years old when I saw it, and still it stands the test of time. But what is it about this movie that people love?
Well, the movie has a lot of heart, a lot of magic, and it really was all about the performances, all about the actors, and how Richard Donner wanted to pull the best performance out of each one of them. You could just tell they were having a great time, and that they believed in the character, they believed in the production, the crew, all of those things gelled, and just dominoes fell into place.
We're looking at some pictures right now and some video of the panel that happened at WonderCon in Anaheim. Were you blown away by the amount of people in that room?
Well, I was. When I went to the sound check, I saw 1,200 seats in there, and I'm like, no way. I hope we get half fill, you know, in the room. And I think it was pretty full.
It was pretty jam-packed, and people just, I mean, you talk about an hour-long panel that really flew by. But what's next? We have an anniversary of Superman the movie coming up.
We absolutely do. In 2018, we have the 40th anniversary of Superman the movie, December 15th, 2018. And I'm just hoping that Warner will do some special things. I have some things in mind that I can't share right now, but some things that are in the works that I hope will make that a very special year.
Why are you so mysterious, Jim?
That's just the kind of guy I am, Jay.
Very good. The great Jim Bowers.
Thank you, Jay.
That's it. Come on. How are you? Good to see you again. A little picture. You just hang out for a little bit, huh? Yeah, all right.
Changed my life.
Hello, Jarrell today.
Needed to get me to come out naked for the scene, and I was, you know, a little shy. I wasn't wanting to do it, so they're like, "All right, we'll give you a 6-pack of Coke."
Right.
All right. Now, then he gave me a snow globe, and I was like, "Wow, man!" And he's like, and I still wouldn't do it. He's like, "Okay, what do you need to come out?"
Right.
Juicy fruit. Pack of juicy fruit. Off my clothes came. So it was a snow globe, juicy fruit, and a 6-pack of Coke to get me naked.
That is funny.
It still works.
Funny. Yeah, hey, anything that works, right?
That's right.
Oh, it's Jack, okay. You guys are really useful today. You're being terrific. Right, you need to take a picture for your face.
great Sarah Douglas is here, Ursa. Sarah, how are you?
I'm very good now that I'm here with all the fans and everything.
Listen, let's be honest with people. You had a flat tire. You never want that on a day when you're about to meet all your fans.
I know. There was a moment where I was sitting at the side of the freeway just thinking, where's Superman when you need him? But I'm here now, and luckily it wasn't too traumatic.
In so many interviews I've watched over the years in documentaries, you've always talked about how different you are from the character Ursa, yet you're an icon when it comes to comic book villains. Tell me what the fan experience is like.
Firstly, I really appreciate the support. The fans are phenomenal. Yes, evil, wicked queen, what can I tell you? That's what I do with different hats on. But Superman definitely was the iconic role that I didn't, when we made the movies all those years ago, I really wasn't aware of the impact of Ursa. But here we are, 30 some odd years later, and all of these people still want to talk about Superman. Yeah. They still want to arm wrestle me. They still want to have me kick butt.
And do you do that? Will you arm wrestle?
I'll do anything you want.
You don't want me to arm wrestle. She'll win. Yeah. It's a pleasure to meet you, and we're so glad you're here this weekend.
Thank you so much, and I'm delighted to have been invited. And CapedWonder, who brought me along, much appreciated. They're a brilliant fan base, and we couldn't have a nicer, more positive group of fans and friends. So thank you very much.
The great Sarah Douglas. There she is.
No, you don't have to do it. I'm just kidding. We'll go see Robert Kelly today.
Get out.
But this, now, is this great? You have a bunch of...
Very nice. And you're up at the top.
I'm up at the top. This is no fantasy. No careless product of wild imagination.
Oh, you got the wand. Hey,
it is a product of my wild imagination. No, my good friend.
Right to the panel, so you saw the panel?
Yeah, so we're right in front of there.
Great.
Yeah. Good. I thought one of these,
How exciting to be with Mark McClure, one of my favorites. Mark, how are you?
Everything's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's exciting.
Listen, you know, I know a lot of times you guys get to go to different things throughout the year, and when you don't have other things going on, you get to come out and meet fans. Are you blown away? I mean, the fan experience here is unbelievable.
You know, I said it, we had that little, the meeting we had, that little meet and greet and all that stuff, and the fan base, the people that come to these conventions are the nicest group of people you can be around. I mean, there's a spirit that's not everywhere. It can only be found at these conventions. And I love talking to them. They have so much compassion. They believe so much. And probably the greatest thing about them is that they're truly honest people. I mean, how they're speaking to you and what they're saying really is coming from their heart. It's very touching, and it's you can only find it here. And that's why I love when I finally get to these things. That's what I love about being here, is just seeing all the people. It's really great.
As the years go by, I often wonder if a guy like you realizes, when you stand here with a guy like me, who has watched this movie 1,000 times or more, and is so obsessed and somewhat has issues, but the fact that you play an iconic character of Jimmy Olsen and you're a part of a memory that makes people so happy, is that something you remember?
It's not something I remember, but it's something that I do live with, and I'm reminded of it now and then. And Christopher Reeve, he made it bigger. Yeah. He really made it bigger. I mean, and Chris is really Superman. I don't care, and I've seen all the films that have, come after ours, and I've been rooting for maybe a Superman to come along and take over the mantle, but it really hasn't happened. And the more I see the movies, the more I realize, I mean, to take over Chris's role as Superman, it may never happen. It may never happen in my lifetime. And he was a great guy in his lifetime. I've got so much respect for the guy, and really, like we talked about, him being a teacher. His lifetime was something that is you can't write it. You can't. It's just out of the world, out of this world, and I have so much respect for the guy.
Can we get Mark McClure in Detroit?
Absolutely. What's happening? Where's the invite?
You're invited anytime you want to come.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The great Mark McClure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Absolutely fantastic.
friend Jack. You may know him as Non in Superman the movie, one of my favorites. How are you, Jack?
Very well, thank you.
Listen, this has been an exciting weekend in Anaheim, and what a fan base.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. You know, just to sit and watch all the people that came to this panel this morning, to have a film that's 40 years old, and that many people come still adoring it. It's great.
Let's talk about you in Detroit, because when people watch things like this back in Detroit, they always want to know if the actor I'm talking to has a connection, but you've been there before.
Oh, I spent a lot of time in Detroit. Actually, I boxed there in 1973. I beat Alvin Blue Lewis there at the Olympic. And I have a lot of friends there. In the 70s and 60s, we did a lot of things between Detroit and Windsor County, and it was good. Great city. I had a lot of good friends.
When you come out to an event like this, people are always saying, "Jack, will you sign this or that for me?" What are some of the more interesting things you've seen or people have asked you to sign before?
You know, it's amazing. Some of the stuff people bring out to different memorabilia things that they have over the years and stuff. You know, and it's whatever. You know, I just think it's kind of really nice to, you know, have a connection like that with people, to be able to bring back memories for them, the same as it does for me. You know, we were in the panel this morning, you know, it's just such great memories to be with the cast, to see the tape from Donner, you know, and to understand that, you know, we have such a camaraderie over all these years, and we're still very good friends, all of us.
And you're on my Superman 2 thermos that I had when I was a kid.
Hey, listen, I've been on wallpaper, bed sheets.
Jack, it's good seeing you.
Oh, it's great being here.
You come back to Detroit and see us. We'll send it back to you.
Jack O'Halloran wants everyone here. Okay. So we're sorry you're around. That's very sweet. You can blame Jack.
And your stuff is in this box. Let me know.
Thank you. Thank you. Jack O'Halloran back there. Let's see, you get everything you need? I guess Jack. Very small. Jack.
Cheers, brother. Awesome. Hey, did you see those?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make that, but...
You want to take some with you? You can take some with you, Pat's, man.
This is actually the first time I think the whole cast is together.
It's nice, isn't it?
Except,
you missed the thing.
2 or 3, well, I mean, of course, Chris, Terrence Stamp, and Susanna York.
That's why we're here. We volunteered to be here just to be a part of it and to help out.
Yeah, this is pretty rare.
Absolutely terrific.
They're all here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is
for who?
This is for Jack O'Halloran. No, it's not. Sorry.
This is for Valerie.
Oh, Valerie, yeah.
I'm so mad that he missed the press thing.
Well, I am too.
I have no idea. I could have used it. Yeah. You want to take it around? Okay. You got, you need to get her.
I use a lot of but I usually I know, and they don't give me any leeway. They hold them on.
It's from Mark, okay?
Oh, from Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. He doesn't know.
Is this for us?
This is for us. This is for my boys who are going around. It's Robert and Mike.
What's up?
Traditional spelling.
Did Jack sign it?
Mike.
Yes. Jack signed it. Who's this one? Yeah, Jack, that's Jack right there. That's Mr. Salkind.
Most famous naked comic book boy in the world.
I tell you, it's great, you know? Everybody see me naked.
You had a great experience in 1978 when Superman the movie came out. You were young, obviously. Tell me about that experience and what you remember.
You know, it was, I have memory like 5 years old and then 3. It was incredible. I remember all of it with Richard Donner between takes, being wrapped in a blanket. I remember talking to him. I remember, you know, on CapedWonder, there's those scenes of Mr. Donner just kind of sitting in the capsule with me.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember him just talking, and it was just kind of making me feel good. You know, it was a wonderful experience, and I remember it all, and I'm so blessed to have had it.
Do you ever think back on, look down at this picture down here if we can, but like this was a poster I had on my wall when I was 5 years old. I mean, it is an iconic scene in a film, and it's you, and you go on with your life and you do what you do, but I mean, it's got to feel good to know that you're a part of history.
It does, you know, and I only really started to grasp that within the last 10 years or so. You know, it was hard as a kid because being naked, I was made fun of a lot, you know. Kids always made fun of me, you were naked.
Right.
And I never really grasped it, but I have now, and it's incredible. Like you said, you had that poster. I have a friend who is from New Zealand. When I met him in LA 15 years ago or whatever, he had my baseball card in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, it's incredible. I'm honored. I'm blessed. I love coming here and meeting the fans. You know, it's great.
was her first thing?
I'll tap it for you. Yeah, I'll probably do it later. Yeah. Of course, you'll see him during the dinner.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He won't. You asked that.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Okay, I take it back to Jack.
I'll have to get my super fine tiny thing.
Real good cop.
Oh, I love it. We got some great force back there. I really do.
Hi there. So tell me about that dress.
You like this?
Can you very nice.
Can you picture the things I'm thinking of?
And the hair too. The hair is like.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes, I tried to cover it as best I could.
That's great. I love that. Where exactly did you get the dress?
I made it.
Oh wow, wow.
Yes, I did.
Talented.
Worked on it for a couple of months.
That's great.
Thank you.
You know, when you hang out in Anaheim for this big WonderCon and you meet all these fans that love Superman the movie, there would be no Superman franchise that we speak of like this if it wasn't for Ilya Salkind and his father, the great Alexander Salkind. Ilya, how are you?
Very well, very well.
Are you blown away by the attendance here? This is crazy.
I think it's crazy, and I would think it is almost second to the Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's as big almost.
It is big. You know, I am a guy that I've watched the documentary.
Bigger than before, actually.
Yeah. I've watched the documentaries on the making of Superman and watched you all over the, through the years as you put these movies together and had this vision. Tell people a little bit, and as they watch in Detroit this morning, you really came up with the idea to turn this into a film all by a poster you saw.
Well, I mean, they're different versions, but I think the truth is I was walking in Paris in an avenue where there were theaters, and there was a poster of a film with Zorro, and with a very famous French actor playing Zorro. And somehow it went in. And then we had a dinner with my father about a couple of weeks after, and suddenly I said out of the blue, why don't we do Superman?
Yeah.
You know. Now, did the poster start the thinking on the comic book? Possibly, but it really was completely out of the blue.
One of my favorite lines from you in one of my favorite documentaries is where you say, it cost a fortune to make the man fly, but it did. It cost a lot of money in that time to make people believe it was not cheap.
It was almost impossible. Actually, we lost 2 years in Rome, where we were based at the beginning, and we could not make him fly. 2 years.
Yeah.
In a very good studio, which was as famous still in Cinecittà, which is the biggest studio in Rome.
Yeah.
And couldn't make it work. And then it took another, I would say, 3 to 4 years to get the thing. And the main thing was when he took off. If you saw the first film, he takes off in the fortress after the father talks to him and all that, and suddenly he flies, and that was unbelievable because even the crew, everybody went crazy because for the first time he actually flew. And there were wires and all that, but it was very, very well made.
And that was really the scene when people saw that, especially financial backers and things like that. They knew this was the real deal.
Look, Warner's, I must say to their credit, came up with a great line, which is, "You'll believe a man can fly." That was a very, very clever line, because it's true. that before that you had never seen a guy fly.
The great Ilya Salkind, we're glad you're here this weekend, and our friends in Detroit are watching. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
How did you get the role in the film? They called you up? Yeah. Wow, that's great.
She was a movie star at that point. You know, she just got offered. Right?
That's great. So you were Donner's pick? Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you were fabulous. Fabulous.
It is an iconic scene in film, and it's you, and you've honored a life. And
tried to match it.
Reminds him of the book and the movie. So he added elements of both.
Driving here, there's some kind of a concert going on in Lake Elsinore. Something, I just saw there's something coming up.
Oh, there might be. Yeah, well, there's at least 10 time machines here in California.
So what's coming through your eye? Oh, nothing. Oh, okay. That's physical.
Use your fingertips, sign your name, and you bring it up. You need an email or text to receive.
You made this costume?
Yes.
Okay, did you put it on outside and come in?
My hotel's like 2 blocks away, so I walked.
Well, you look fantastic. What a compliment. I very rarely see anybody. There's one guy that I see, and there's a girl that turned up the other day, which was great, but I very rarely see it anymore. I'm always impressed. And I love the sticky tape. I just want to rip it all off. Are you Joe?
Yes.
Look at that General Zod costume. See it, Gina? Right there. General Zod costume.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
May you get Terry stamps sometime in the distant future. Would you like a photograph?
I would love one.
I thought you might.
Joe Ralph over there wants to.
Okay, Robert, wave again. I screwed up.
There you go, my friend.
I have this, the original black and white in my basement. It's all like yellow.
Yeah.
But they blew it up to be a big, huge one.
And I've got even more. This book's just a representation of everything I have, you know.
Special.
Do you remember, like, most of the stuff you see
Oh yeah.
in the book?
Yeah, especially, I don't know where it is, but where it went now. But the scene, there's photos, my personal photos with Richard Donner just sitting in the capsule with me talking.
Right.
I remember it, but when I just looked at this, I just got like a flash, you know.
Right.
It's great.
That's great. Hi, Margot.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. So what do you think about 40 years later, or almost 40 years later, all these people here just to see the cast and you, and what do you think of all the popularity it turned into?
It's really flattering and wonderful and a good feeling to have been in a movie that turned out to be a real classic that my grandchildren have watched and now they're too old for it. If I get great-grandchildren, they'll watch. And so it feels great. It's really fun to be here and to see everybody else from the movie.
It's fantastic.
It was a joy and it is a joy. Yeah.
It's great. One question. So what did you think about that scene, Can You Read My Mind? Some people like it, some people really love it, or some people don't like it.
Filming the flying scene was so physically painful and took 3 months.
Wow.
Because it was the first time anyone had done blue backing. Now it's green, I think.
Right.
And so I went through all of Gordon Dahl's books, but Chris stayed in character all the time. He was like this, and I'd be pulling books out of my front and reading them, and he'd go, "Don't you stay in character?" And I go, "Chris, I've been Lois Lane for a year. We look left all week. I can handle it." And so it was trying to film, but when I saw it at the premiere in Washington, it made me cry. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
So there was a big difference between filming it and then seeing it, and it is a beautiful scene. It's incredible.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I especially love that scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it since. I mean, it's kind of unique.
It was very incredibly well thought out.
Yeah.
Piece by piece, but to actually be hanging there, either in a harness or a body mold, or just flapping your arms on the going up and down. It was trying.
What are your thoughts on Superman 4?
Superman 4? Oh, Superman 4? Well,
yeah.
It's pretty bad. It's a terrible movie. Chris kept saying he wrote it, and then it came out, and he went, "No, I didn't write it." Superman
disaster.
4 were knocked out cheap and dirty and fast to cash in, and so they lost their soul. I mean, they just did. They didn't have any heart or soul or real feeling the way Dick Donner put in the first one. It's the real second one. Yeah.
Do you think it was the budget that?
I think it was called people trying to make a quick buck and not giving a damn about what the effort that went into the first two, which is why they weren't hits and the first two were hits.
That's why it turned out so well. Yeah.
Audiences can tell. I mean, you can't underestimate movie audiences ever. They know when something's being knocked off. Yeah.
Right. Do you think that the love story pretty much ended after part 2, or that they could have done something more with it? I mean,
they could have done something more with it, but they didn't. Chris had a healthy ego, and I wasn't in really Superman 3 because I'd said some very rude things about the director, the producer, not the director. So I had 12 lines, and one of them was Oak Park, which I thought was funny. And but I was seeing Richard Pryor as a boyfriend at the time, so he'd go to work, and he wasn't a happy man.
Yeah. I liked how how Lois was really nice in Superman 4?
Yeah.
And she kind of like stopped being the kind of like, you know, nitpicky, kind of teasing Clark to like a real friend. Whose idea was that? Was that yours or Chris's?
Part of it was in the script, part of it was me. Yeah. You know, Sidney Fury, who directed it, is a dear friend, a wonderful director. And he made it tolerable. But he knew there were big holes in the script. I knew there were big holes in the script.
Right.
Chris at that point didn't think there were any holes in the script because he'd written it so brilliant. But it wasn't. It was really a shame nobody had the guts to sit Chris down and go, look, this is not a good script. It has to be made better before we film it. There's a saying in Hollywood, you can make a bad movie out of a good script, but you cannot make a good movie out of a bad script. And Superman 4 was a bad script and therefore a bad movie.
Yeah. Well, I actually liked it. Even I totally forgave all of the special effects.
Yeah, I thought the idea was noble.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It wasn't well written.
Yeah, it was good seeing you too again, like together. Yeah. Thank you, Margot, so much. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll get her to do it next. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. What a wonderful idea.
Yeah, man.
All right, let me go over to Margot.
I started it, so let me get that for you.
Hey, Aaron. Yes. Art came up with a great idea. He said autograph Donner's copy. Oh, yeah. Give it to Donner. Would you do that for me? Absolutely. Mark just thought of it. I'm giving this one to Richard Donner in 2 weeks. Yeah. So I'll leave it here for him to sign. Just ask him to sign it right there to Richard Donner for me.
Okay.
I'm giving this book to Donner in 2 weeks. He said, why don't we all autograph it? So, Sarah, everybody did finish.
Good question. Other than that, you bet. Just one of the pages? Sorry, Ann.
I must have made myself time for my name.
Thank you so much. Oh, I left the plastic.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook. Just my name, Eric Walensky.
What happened to the plastic?
I don't know that guy. You actually have to sit next to him or so.
Yeah, I think they need a special prize.
I am going to see Dick Donner in 2 weeks.
I'm going to see him tomorrow night.
And I'm going to give him this.
Oh, good.
Would you please autograph it?
Of course.
Mark came up with a wonderful idea. You're going to see him tomorrow?
Yep.
Outstanding.
His wife's having whatever you have, Jews have at Easter. And he said you're invited. I haven't told her yet.
You know what? I think I have. Well, good. I'm glad you're going to go see him. Shield. Remember that at the WonderCon party? You said Harry.
He's Harry to me. My daughter never knew him as Dick. And I can't. And I talked to Laura and I try and go Dick, and she said, "Don't worry. I know it's Harry. I think it's funny. Just say Harry. I know who you mean." And when you call and say Harry, where's Harry here? I always know who it is.
Great. Great. Well, give me my best.
No, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see him.
Get better. He's got something wrong with his foot, and I guess it's really painful. Warren said he doesn't complain, but he can't get around it. Oh, it was great. It was wonderful. Yeah. He looks good. He's here next week. Yeah. Yeah, most of the winter, yeah. The whales. He loves it. We're all like crazy dog people, so I have to bring my picture of my dog. Did I show you my pup? No.
I did.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much. There you go. You're welcome, buddy. You want this one?
Oh, that's very nice.
Michael, right?
Yeah.
He didn't know who I am. He has no idea who I am. Spock had no idea who I was. Are you Superman guy? Oh. Yeah, he's Vegas Spock. It costs $2. $2. It's a donation.
I lost Pierre. Oh, come on. Why is it not doing it faster?
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
No, wait, it was more than they should be here. Where are the other ones?
You know,
No, I'll have to shout. I changed my.
Change your email?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get it from you
What
later.
the hell? Come on, don't still be loading.
What is it like for you to meet these fans at a great event like this?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's nice that the movie like withstood the test of time. It's like a timeless movie, and I think it'll always, you know, go up there.
And you're close to the movie business, and you have been. You talked about things you've directed and did that type of work, but it's always, it must be exciting for a fan to realize who you are and go, hey, you were part of my childhood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there were a few guys that had a crush on me.
Just a couple. Diane, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
We're glad you're here in Anaheim. We'll send it back to you.
I'm glad that the video that we put together was well received. I'm glad that today was the busiest day and all the celebrities got the attention they wanted. And especially looking forward to dinner with everybody.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
He was strong.
That guy.
Ready.
I took my vegetables.
That's right.
And drank my milk.
He likes broccoli.
He came out of the
do?
car.
Yeah. He likes broccoli. He's all right. He does okay.
That's all right.
Do you remember David getting it?
I do. I have this book.
Yeah.
Still.
You still have that one?
I still have that book. It's on my shelf.
Now, you know he had a cameo in Superman 3.
Oh, he's that kid.
He was the boy at the photo booth. So that's why they're together in the lunch tent taking a break.
That's right. I'll see.
Yeah. A cameo in Man of Steel. He's right there.
So you worked with Ron Howard, the legendary producer. Tell me about that. That's so awesome.
We were kid actors at the same time, so we knew each other when we were young kids, and he was just polite. I just love Ron Howard. He was just a very honorable man. Once I didn't get a part that it was between me and another girl, and he just wrote me the sweetest note. It's just such a gracious guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's not the way the...
And you want to direct too?
I do direct.
Oh, you do direct? Yeah, I stand corrected. That's awesome. Awesome. I love women directors. I'm a women director.
Yeah.
All right.
I always wonder too if I had been, if there had been examples, because I used to get a whole bunch of kids together and direct plays.
Right.
If there had been any examples in those days of female directors, maybe I would have been another Ron Howard.
You could have, yeah. Maybe, you know, I mean, you were rubbing elbows with him. Maybe you were getting a hint, you know.
Yeah, but there was no
act and then direct, you know.
There weren't many women directors at all.
Yeah, I guess most of them were having babies, taking care of kids, you know. And now, I mean, best director, Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah, right.
Just do it, you know.
Yeah, there's
Got
still
the talent,
not.
do
The
it.
stats still aren't good. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Stats.
That's great. That's great. And you directed plays, theater.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
A couple shorts, and I just directed a pilot. I wrote and acted.
All right. I love theater, and it's not easy to do theater. You gotta have really good actors, and yeah, that's great.
I love theater. I worked in theater for a long time. In fact, I was busy doing underground theater when they did Superman 3.
Oh, really?
In New York, and I was off the grid. They couldn't get in touch with me. So that was kind of a bummer because I wrote Richard Lester when I heard they were doing Superman 3 with Lana Lang in it, and he said, "We were looking for you. We just hired. We just cast it."
That's awesome. Wow.
Oh, well, I sure messed up.
That's me in Wishmaster, yeah.
That's cool. And this is your daughter.
Yes, this is Leah.
See that?
This is the younger Lana Lang. All right. Oh, thanks, Mary.
It's not far off from what she was wearing. But yeah, it's just an evening gown that I actually own.
That's awesome.
And I was going to cut this off, and I said, no, you know what? I may want to wear this gown again. So I left it on.
I guess Scott's got it.
Yeah, Mark's gonna go get my truck and bring it back to
Thank you so much for coming out. I would like to get the panel.
Yeah, let's get together. Yeah, we have to. Let's do it soon, so it's not the typical LA. Let's do it.
You know, we've met a lot of stars this weekend, but Margot Kidder is one of my favorites. And you know, when Margot was in my Detroit office looking at all my stuff, I think it was you that said, I may have a problem.
Yeah, you're addicted to collecting.
Margot left her water bottle.
Collectors Anonymous you need to go to.
She left her water bottle in my office, and it took me a good 3 months to throw it out, saying, it is Lois Lane's water bottle, I can't throw it out. We
shouldn't be using water bottles.
You're right. Let's talk a little bit about this event, because I know you're all over the country doing things like this around the world, but this is a big fan gathering. That panel today was massive.
It was. It's huge. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what I was expecting. I just go where Daryl sends me. But so this is as much as I can handle. San Diego Comic-Con I went to twice, and the second time I was just panic-stricken. There's so many people. It's so crazy. So this is that, and it's run by the same people, so it's run really well, but with a manageable amount of people. So you can talk to your fans for a few minutes, and it's amazing the number of people who saw Superman as kids, and it was their first movie where they got right and wrong, and you know, you protect the children and the women, all that stuff. So it's really fun.
When I talked to Aaron a little while ago, he mentioned that it took him a little while to embrace the history he was a part of. And when you come out and do this and meet all these people and spend 3 days doing it, you are embracing history.
Yeah, and when I was young, I didn't get that. I thought, please, let me do character parts, let me do different kinds of roles. And now, you know, we made a real classic that's right up there with, you know, The Wizard of Oz, I think. So it's thrilling. It's absolutely thrilling.
Well, I grew up in Toms River, New Jersey.
Oh, we shot some of
Amityville
Horror there, right?
Well, that house, every time we would come home from the mall, we'd have to pass it, and I was terrified thinking that was the real house. But your film career has been unbelievable, and I always say, I got to tell her I'm from the town they filmed
That's
that movie.
Hilarious, yeah.
You had a good time there?
We did. I thought making horror movies is fun. And it's funny because you have to get the goopiest stuff put on you and go through things that are pretty wacky. So if you don't get a good laugh while you're doing it, you're a fool. So I found it funny.
And people still want you to do horror movies. You have to be turning stuff down because I see every once in a while you pop up and...
I'm a big supporter of these kids who are going out and making independent films. A lot of them get hold of me because they're sort of a reflection of that 60s, 70s era of filmmakers that I was part of that came up through independent film. And like now the studios are run by huge corporations. They're trying to turn out movies by corporate, group think. And it doesn't, I don't like them very much. So I'm a big supporter of kids making independent films, and a lot of them know my horror movies and get hold of me. And so I do a lot of those, and it's fun.
Will you fly in a helicopter if you have to?
Oh, I love flying. I had a pilot's license for a while. Yeah.
Well, if you're the pilot, I'll go.
No, because I have no depth perception, so the landings were really bad. Boing, boing, boing.
The great Margot Kidder. Thank you so much again.
You're very welcome. Good to see you.
I'll send it back to you.
Back to you.
Use a bottle.
With another
See you, Sparky.
What?
Where are you going? She went that way. No, I can go that way.
No. I went up there, and their security is tight. Legal light. I thought he would be a great one for you. He was. Never mind. Thank you.
Attention WonderCon attendees. In the arena right now, Blue House Productions shares an inside look at unfriendly, insidious chapter.
Phosphor creativity. Oh yeah. Good stuff. Cast me again. Huh? Cast me again. Will, but God.
I'm not naked this time.
That'll be a different, whole new movie. Not naked.
There's the one in 78. No.
Not naked.
It's fresh. It's not naked. That's it.
What?
Are you coming to the dinner tonight or no?
No, I can't.
Deborah wanted to thank you, his girlfriend, for the dinner.
Good, how are you doing? Good. Well. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there she is again.
We'll talk about that in the panel. So, way to go, man. You changed my life.
I know, a lot of people said that today.
You did? No fooling. That comes right from here. I will never leave here. Not here.
Well, because they think the movie has levels.
Absolutely. It completely changed my life, I can tell you that.
Attention WonderCon attendees.
Hello. Aaron Smolinski, the Superman. Oh, I think this is the Superman, Jim Bowers.
Yeah, I do.
Aaron, you don't have any family from around here, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Awesome guy right here at WonderCon 2015, Aaron Smolinski.
Thank you to CapedWonder and Jim Bowers.
Jim Bowers.